Welcome back, Devils fans. It is episode 4 of the Runnin With The Devils podcast. And it's been quite the week. Just coming off the Stadium Series. As this is being recorded, it is late night after we just lost a horrific one to the Capitals. So let's just start off the show with taking a look back at last week. And you see, in a week that was so promising, we started off on the 12th with a 3-1 win against the Seattle Kraken, followed up with a rare win on the second half of a back-to-back with a 4-2 win against Nashville in Nashville. And then on February 15th, we lost a painful one at home against the Kings by a score of 2-1, not burying our chances. And then 2 days later, the much-anticipated Stadium Series, where we finish off the Flyers 6-3. So going 3-1 over that stretch. Things are looking to be possibly turned around. Team played really good in the Stadium Series. Nico Dawes had a gem of a performance, and then we come out tonight and lose by scores 6-2 on the road against the Capitals in an absolutely gutting loss. And this team has some soul searching to do. Wins aren't going to be easy, as we know. We're now 4 points out of the wild card, chasing Detroit. There's some teams on our heels, and it's going to be a dogfight. And hopefully we can get something done. A lot of rumors still surrounding the team with goalies, maybe a defenseman. At this point, I don't know that Fitzgerald is going to do anything. I hope he does, but time is slipping away, and pretty soon we're going to have to, deal with the reality and possibly be sellers at the deadline, which would be absolutely gutting. Absolutely gutting. But look at the standings in depth, and there we are after 55 games played with 60 points. And same amount of games played for Detroit, 4 points back and 5 points behind the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we have 2 games in hand. So, we're still alive, still kicking, still could potentially catch the Flyers as well for third in the Metropolitan, but, it's time to go on a heater now. We need like a 4 or 5 game heater, and that would change the outlook dramatically and hopefully give Fitzy, maybe put the battery in his back to do something to bolster the lineup and reward these boys for clawing back. But it's absolutely painful right now. Gutting loss against the Capitals. And we just got to wake up and come out hard Thursday at home against the Rangers. It's in what's really, a potential must-win game. I mean, obviously it's, must-win is an exaggeration until it's really a must-win. But it's as close to a must-win as it could be without actually being a must-win. Coming off the loss and the way we are in the standings against our bitter rival, we need that one bad. We need it bad, and hopefully they come out and make a statement after tonight's stinker in Washington. It was absolutely painful. I'm sure all of you that watch my videos are, feeling the same, and you're obviously big fans if you're watching my videos. So, you feel kind of the way I do, and it's a kick in the nuts. Kick in the nuts to be where we are right now, and that loss was painful. And every time we get the hope that the turnaround is coming, the inconsistency creeps back in, and we play a terrible game. And so, guys got to really start soul searching, because it's time. It's now or never, really, to right the ship. So that's where we stand at the moment, as you all know. Painful night, painful loss. Just got to come back and play strong. These next few games, really, we have the Rangers on Thursday at home, the 22nd, Saturday at home against the Canadiens, and then another, back-to-back, Tampa Bay, and then close out on the road the 27th against San Jose. So, another 3 games in 4 nights at the Rock. Pretty tough stretch, and I'm very curious to see what we're going to see in net. I mean, it doesn't seem like they want to give Akira Schmidt a start, and now that Dawes has, had this last game where he didn't play great, and then the back-to-back coming up and Vitek's out, I'm thinking we're going to have to see Schmidt unless something happens before then. Schmidt's going to have to play one of those games, either the 24th against the Canadiens or the 25th against the Lightning, I'd imagine. I mean, if Dawes plays all these games, I'd be shocked. Really shocked at this point. If he was still playing hot, I would say ride the hot hand and keep him in there, but the way it's going now, I really don't know. Maybe there'll be another goalie in town by then. I highly doubt it, but time will tell. Must finish February strong, and yeah, we'll go from here and see how it goes. But hoping for the best. I still have faith in the boys, but they really got to wake up. But tough times ahead. I'd like to also take a moment now to thank everyone that watches my videos. Thank you all very much. I appreciate all of you, and continue to comment, like, tell your friends. Please subscribe. The majority of my viewers are not subscribers, which I find to be very interesting. Once in a while, I'll look at the deep stats, and most of the watchers are not subscribers. So if you're watching, please subscribe. It helps in the YouTube algorithm, help us get out to more people. Hopefully, open some more possibilities down the line. But I have some really cool stuff I've been working on and have done in the past couple weeks. So there's going to be some really cool stuff coming out soon, including a really cool interview I just did recently. But I'll probably be coming out within the next few episodes. I'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, cool stuff ahead. And now to the much anticipated Stadium Series. Going to go over everything pretty much in depth, and what an event it was. I have to say, the hype is real. I went to the Stadium Series in 2014 against the Rangers at Yankee Stadium, and there's just a different vibe. The sight lines at MetLife are much better than Yankee Stadium. It's a football stadium versus baseball. It was across the parking lot from our old arena. There's tailgating. We won the game. So overall, it was a way different thing. But we'll start off with the practice day. So Friday, the day before, there you see we get the first peek of the essentially close to finalized interior of the MetLife Stadium. And then we see some great images from the practice day / family skate, where the players brought their families and they could skate on the ice. You saw some guys shooting pucks around with their kids. Really cool stuff. It seems to be one of the the more memorable moments for all the players on the practice day. Everyone has said is one of the things that that'll stick with them for years and years to come. All the guys talk highly of it, but we see Kevin Ball rocking the New York Football Giants helmet on the ice. Absolutely amazing image. I was cracking up when I saw that when it first came out. But my first thoughts when I saw these was, wow, holy shit, these practice jerseys are absolute fire. And I was very excited to see what they were going to be. I'd imagine they were going to continue with the black circle-less logo theme for the practice jerseys, and these jerseys are just straight flames. So here we see a bunch of guys in the red, which is very similar to the game jersey, but super sick jersey, obviously very close to the game jersey, and I love the game jersey. But there you see the red, and then the black with the red outlined black logo, super sick. We see a couple photos of it here, and then perhaps my favorite is the white jersey, incorporating all three of the team's colors. White jersey with the red outlined black logo, absolutely sick. There we see Holtz and Stadium Series legend Nasty Nate Bastian, and yeah, absolutely sweet jerseys. It's a shame that for some reason the NHL, the NHL is a for-profit business. They're basically a sales company. They're selling the sport of hockey and tickets and cable deals and merchandise and all these things. It's a shame that when something so obvious presents itself, it's not like a foregone conclusion for the league. And so pretty much every Devils fan I've talked to since these photos came out have said 100% if these practice jerseys are made available, they'd buy it. I mean, in my opinion, and most other people I've talked to, this whole Stadium Series jersey hype and the design itself and everything about it has been the most anticipated and widely kind of loved or cherished design since I've been a fan for 30 years. And we're just going to look at the photos of it. I mean, these white and black ones, the red ones are cool too, but they're very similar to the game jersey. But these white and black ones are so far different than anything else we've ever seen before. And they're just absolutely phenomenal. It's just so sick. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful jerseys. Hope to own one eventually somehow. And then we get to game day, and it's revealed for our grand arrivals, the boys have elected to go the Sopranos theme. And when I saw these, oh man, I was laughing and applauding hard because I just thought it was so fitting for the event, and the boys absolutely killed it. We see Jack with the Fila tracksuit and Dawson Mercer with a different one. The boys all just wearing different tracksuits, gold chains out, totally nailing the Sopranos theme. There we see Timo and Jesper sipping the espresso out of the little cups. Phenomenal visuals. They totally killed it. The Flyers Rocky theme was okay, but I think, everyone's wearing the same thing. I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of like Prisoners or something. It was kind of cool, but I do think, obviously I'm biased, but I do think the Devils with the Sopranos thing definitely beat them in the Arrival game. And I thought that was super clever. I think they all said it was Nico's idea and he took care of the whole thing. But, very creative and amazing idea and execution by Captain Nico there. And then we see the coach's arrival with these beautiful, beautiful jackets. And there we see Fitzy with the same one. And the great Marty all rocking these sick jackets. And there it is. At the game in the stadium, available for the price of $9.99.99. A little rich for my blood. I did not see this in the stadium myself. I was tailgating for a while. Saw this online. Someone had posted a photo of it. Super cool jacket. Had I seen it in the stadium for $9.99.99, I don't think I'm pulling the trigger. I would have had to have been super lit, and I was not. That's like a super drunk impulse purchase at $9.99.99. If it was like $500 or $600, it's still pricey, but I probably would have bought it at that. In the moment, you're all excited, a little liquored up in the stadium. Yeah, $500 or $600, I'd probably pull the trigger, but $1,000, not for me. There's a lot of other merchandise and swag and Devils memorabilia that I would spend that money on, but super sick jacket. Absolutely love it. And it's game day. Tailgating in MetLife Stadium parking lots. Stone's throw away, if you will, from our former home. Some of you know it as the Brendan Byrne Arena. Some of you know it as Continental Airlines Arena. But to be back in East Rutherford tailgating for a Devils hockey game, it was a throwback. It was just a blast back in time. For those of you that are too young to remember or weren't a fan, at the old barn, Continental Airlines Arena or Brendan Byrne, whatever you want to call it, tailgating was basically a staple. You didn't see it was pretty much every game you'd see people tailgating. Regular season was not nearly as popular as playoffs, but once playoffs came, that parking lot was buzzing. Every playoff game, people would be playing roller hockey, street hockey, people drinking beers, cookouts, barbecue, all that great stuff. Jamming out with some music. Nothing really like tailgating in the Devils Dynasty days at the old arena, but this was very reminiscent of that. A throwback afternoon at the stadium. See a lot of Devils tailgaters here. The legend. The absolute legend. David Decker and his classic face paint was out there. And just an absolute great afternoon at the stadium, then that's what it's really about. It's a shame that the younger people don't get to experience the tailgate. It's about community and friends, and you're talking to other fans and mingling around. It's just an unbelievable thing, and during this game it was next level. Everyone was super jacked up. Everyone knew it was a big game for the boys, huge game for the standings, and to be tailgating right near the old arena for a Stadium Series game that we haven't had one in 10 years with the team we have now, it was super exciting. There was people young and old, kids, older people, everyone in between, and everyone was just enjoying themselves. Everyone was enjoying themselves, and it was a great afternoon. It's a shame that we don't get them more often, but for the people that were there, I'm sure they won't forget the overall experience, even pregame. There was an NHL experience and all these different things, shoot pucks and go see the Stanley Cup. They kind of had like a whole little village kind of thing set up. I didn't really get to walk around too much because I was manning the grill and bullshitting with a lot of my friends and people that were stopping by our tailgate, but it was a great time. Everyone that I know that went still talking about it days later, and it was a phenomenal event. There's not much else to say about the whole tailgate thing. And then we get to the game, and the building is pretty packed. Building is fairly packed. Rowdy fans everywhere. We got the little Jonas Brothers pre-game concert. I made a joke about that, months ago when it was announced. I mean, they could have got, Metallica, Foo Fighters, anyone like that. I think would have been more fitting for the average hockey fan. But it seems like with these things, the league's always trying to cater to kids, kind of like nonsense Bieber designed All-Star Game jerseys. But Jonas Brothers jersey guys, Devil fans. One of them, I don't know which one that is, which Jonas brother that is there, but he has his Devil jersey under his plaid shirt. But Jonas Brothers pregame concert, a lot of people were into it, people on the field. And pregame, as we're leading up to puck drop, the Subinator, PK Subban, does the lineup read for the boys in the locker room. PK, while he was kind of washed up by the time he got to the Devils, it seems like he really loves a lot of the guys he played with, and he remains a huge cheerleader for the team. He talks very highly of them on TV. He's always around at team events and things. I think he lives in New York City, so he's obviously still very close, and he pops up here and there. And he got nominated to do the lineup read for the boys before the game. If you haven't seen that, that's in one of my other Stadium Series videos, or you could look it up, whatever. But that's definitely in the documentary thing I put together. The PK Subban lineup read, definitely hilarious. And then also leading up during the pregame while we were waiting for the game to start in the arena, I thought this was super weird, and I feel like it was kind of trolling. There was like a video package with a bunch of different people, including Tommy DeVito and Mark Messier, and they say something along the lines of, oh yeah, we're right across from the Meadowlands where some like historic things happened, and they go to show the clips and talk about the guarantee in the Game 6 of the 1994 Eastern Conference Finals when the Rangers were down 3-2, that Messier made the big guarantee that they're going to win in our building to force a Game 7 back in MSG, and they showed the video of it, and then like Messier kind of talking shit like, sorry, Jersey. Actually, I'm going to roll the clip. Here's the video.
And her. She's ours. Hockey history? Yeah, we got that too. Right across the parking lot where this guy made good on his guarantee. Ain't that right, Ness?
Hey, Tommy, I remember it like it was yesterday.
He said we will win Game 6. He's just
Sorry, Jersey.
Yeah, as you can see, pretty bizarre. I don't know why they would show that. I was really pissed off. One of my friends was actually freaking out when it came on. It was a bizarre troll job. I thought that was really stupid. Yeah, kind of annoying. Seemed like a shot at the Devils, but whatever. The Rangers could win their 1994 Cup. We've won 3 since, and yeah, they haven't, so sorry. The walkout from the locker room to the field, absolutely sick with the flames, as you can see with the flames there. Very reminiscent of like a WWF or UFC or, a big boxing fight, one of these, or even a concert, these high pyro, highly produced type of things. You don't see it too often with hockey, but there you see it. The boys walking out to the massive flames, adding to the excitement in the stadium. And once they're all out there on the ice, who else but the great Martin Brodeur on the puck drop. There you see him with nicohischier and Couturier for the ceremonial face-off. And once the puck was dropped, it didn't take long. About 40 seconds in, Captain Nico on the breakaway, slipped one through the 5-hole on the backhand. Absolutely sick, and the building goes ballistic. Building goes absolutely ballistic. Nico on the board. There's probably a lot of people not even at their seats yet. It was just phenomenal. I was well into my seat to make sure I didn't miss anything. And, once I saw him sprung on the breakaway, everyone kind of stood up right away. And you couldn't tell from, I had pretty good seats, but where we were, it was hard to tell, like, if the puck went through. Then we saw Nico put his arms up, because I thought it went in. And then you see Nico put his arms up, and you're like, oh, yeah, let's go. This is how you start a Stadium Series. Nico giving the Devils the 1-0 lead at the 32-second mark. Phenomenal stuff. And then about 13 minutes later at 13:30, Tyler Toffoli cashes one in, and now I'm feeling good. At 2-0, we've blown a lot of leads, but it was just even the lead, the build up to the game and everything. It just seemed like it was going to be our night for me after that point. I was, I don't know, maybe it was just delusional happiness. But once he scored that, I was like, there's no way we're going to lose this game now. Toffoli giving the boys the 2-0 lead. First period ends 2-0, and wow. Luckily for me, I was in one of the mezzanine sections in the 200 level that had access to the club to kind of thaw out in between periods. And so after every period, I'd go in there and get a drink or something, and my friends and I would just be, talking and killing time in between periods. But it was really nice to fully thaw out and, return to some normal body temperature before heading back out into the cold. But while it was cold, I was personally much colder during the Yankee Stadium game. And I'm not sure why that was. Maybe I was more prepared this time and I wore more layers, and I was very heavy on the sock game. I think I had 4 pairs of socks, including one really thick pair, which maybe I undersocked at the stadium, because the heat really does escape from your feet. And I remember my feet feeling like they were completely frozen during the Yankee Stadium game. But luckily, with the extra layers this time around and the ability to go indoors and get warmed up in between periods, I was perfectly fine. I mean, obviously it wasn't sitting on it's not like you're sitting on the beach and you're like, it was cold, but it was very tolerable for me. And 2-0, good guys. After one, then at 7:43 the second, Tippett scores for the Flyers, making it 2-1. But at 16:36, Brendan Smith backhands in the rebound, giving the Devils the 3-1 lead. And only a minute and 12 later, at 17:48, Nate Bastian scores a beautiful little snapper. And then after he scores the goal, he hits the Tommy Cutlets celebration. Put the icing on the cake. He hits the Cutlets. Phenomenal celly. Phenomenal goal. Phenomenal moment of the game. And for me, it's going to go down as a phenomenal moment of the season. It was just so fitting and kind of brought the whole thing around full circle. We are at MetLife, home of Tommy Cutlets. They had him involved in all the promo and everything of the game. So what does Nate do? He scores a goal and he hits him with the Cutlets. And amazing play by Nate. If you haven't seen the mic'd up, also I have that segment in the Stadium Series documentary video I have on the channel. For all the goals, there's a bunch of guys mic'd up, and it's just a great watch. We don't normally get to see too many Devils mic'd up scenarios, and especially on a stage like this. So I highly recommend just checking out the documentary, at least for that part. Great segments in there of the guys mic'd up. 4-1 Devils at that point. And at 18:23, Tippett scores in the power play, making it 4-2. After 2 periods, the Devils up 4-2. We go to the third, and at 2:48, Nico gets on the board again, giving the Devils a 5-2 lead. And at 9:07, Sealer would score for the Flyers to make it 5-3. And at 18:15 on the empty net, Nasty Nate buries it home, giving the Devils the 6-3 lead, and that's how it ends. 6-3, the New Jersey Devils take a massive one on the massive stage. 3 stars of the game. Third star with 2 goals, Nate Bastian. The second star with a goal and an assist, Brendan Smith. And the first star of the game, nicohischier, with 2 goals and an assist for a 3-point night in the stadium. And what a game. What a game. All I could say was it was just a magical experience. It was a magical experience. There's no other atmosphere really to compare it to because of the tailgate, because of where it was. It's a corny thing to say, but the whole day kind of almost felt like an out-of-body experience. If you're a massive fan the way I am, and again, if you're watching these videos, I have to assume you're a pretty massive fan, and especially being a longtime fan, things like this don't come around too often. And the way the whole day played out, where the weather was decent for the tailgate, it was packed with Devils fans. We won a pretty exciting game, a game that we really needed to win, and it was an absolutely amazing day. And I was thinking about this when it first got announced. I was kind of pissed we weren't playing the Rangers, and a lot of my friends thought the same. We're like, Devils Rangers was the game we wanted to see. But I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, and he made a good point. And he was like, you know what, maybe it's better off it was the Flyers, because it was truly like a Devils event. Unfortunately, if it was Devils Rangers, we're always going to play, backup or second fiddle to the Rangers, unfortunately, because they're the New York market team and yada yada. And so it would have been more of like their event or a shared event versus this was truly a Devils event. I would say the attendance, numbers wise, was probably 70-30 in favor of the Devils, maybe even more. It may have been closer to like 80-20. It was way more, the percentage was way more skewed in the Devils' favor than I thought it was going to be. Majority Devils fans. You saw little pockets of Flyer fans that took buses and shit outside, and you'd see little clusters of them in the stands. But overall, the Devils, had the numbers big time, big time. But a huge win on the big stage. It kind of felt like a Devils coming out party almost, like that we've arrived. I've been a fan for a very long time, and this is only our second Stadium Series game, and it's the first one where we were like the main, I don't know what you want to call it, but like it was like the Devils show per se. It was in our home state, majority our fans. It was like a Devils event, and so it felt like a coming out party. Like we finally arrived. We are an exciting team. We have these young players. We do have fans. People have mocked our fan base and Ranger fans, like, oh, you guys have 6 fans. Like, bullshit. Look at the videos and watch the stadium erupt on the goals. Like, we packed that place, and it makes me proud as a fan. Like the franchise has come a long way. Our fan base has grown. When I was a kid in elementary school and middle school, we're going back years. Nearly 30 years ago, 25 years ago, there wasn't many kids in my school that even liked hockey. Like, people thought you were weird if you liked hockey. Everyone, basketball, baseball, football, whatever it was, there was very few kids that liked hockey. And, now more and more kids and young people, because people of my generation that grew up hockey fans are now passing it on to their kids. And so you see the next generations of the fan base that weren't really there when I was a kid. If you were a hockey fan, you were like a weirdo almost. No one liked hockey, and it's come a long way in that time. And you see it at an event like that. That's really, really showed how much the Devils fan base has grown, and what a good fan base we have when we can pack a building like that. And hopefully the league took notice, and with the star players we have, and hopefully some continued success on the ice, that we'll be a more attractive team to put in either another Stadium Series game or, dare I say, a Winter Classic. A lot of you are like, oh, it's the same thing. I mean, in the end, they're similar, but the Winter Classic is the premier outdoor game. And for the Devils to get in the Winter Classic would be phenomenal. A lot of teams have already been in multiple Winter Classics, and we haven't even been in one. I'm hoping that, in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe we could get a Winter Classic. Obviously, winning helps, success helps. So if we're ever to win a Stanley Cup, I'd imagine we definitely get in a Winter Classic. Or maybe we don't have to win a cup. Maybe just go on a deep run. But, on hockey, Twitter, and all these online things, the social media engagement around the Devils in the event was huge. And it was a big deal. The jersey was talked about heavily. It was pretty much a masterpiece, I would say, a masterpiece event for, the few days of the, I'm gonna count the day before as part of the event, but between the practice day with the sick jerseys and all the hoopla around that, and then the Sopranos arrivals for game day, the way the game played out, it was an absolutely phenomenal, thing for this team and for the franchise and for the fans. And it was nearly perfect. My only complaints about all of it would be, I've already talked about the music, something else, Metallica and all those types of groups would have made it much more exciting for me, but that's a pretty nitpicky thing to complain about. Other than that, and the only other real complaint is a complaint towards the league, is that obviously everyone knows the jersey release was a absolute nightmare and a debacle. You still can't find them. Orders are getting canceled. Adidas was sending jerseys that literally said Jack Hughes, his whole name across the back. the whole thing has just been a disaster. When you have fans looking to give you their hard-earned money for a product, you need to be able to produce the product and get it to them. And these jerseys seem like they're never going to be easy to find. And with Adidas losing the NHL deal and it going to Fanatics, we may never see, another shipment of at least the Adidas jerseys. That might be done. Maybe the crappy Fanatics ones will still be getting pumped out. Who knows? But either way, the ones being ordered right now are supposedly getting delivered in June if you're lucky. So very strange that there's tons of fans looking to buy these jerseys and you literally can't buy them anywhere. Complete failure, F-, to the league on that whole rollout. But the Devils handled their business. And, it'll be a day I'll never forget. And I can only tell you guys that if you didn't go, that if and when another Stadium Series comes up, you should 1,000% go. I cannot, stress enough the uniqueness and the specialness of the event. And if you're a huge fan, or if you were there, you know what I mean by that. And it just feels different. You knew all the eyes from the hockey world were on us, and with the statement we made in the game, it was just a phenomenal day to be a New Jersey Devils fan or involved with the organization. It was a painful reminder of the old arena to me. I've said time and time again how I hate Newark for a myriad of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is that the tailgate element is removed. And it was just a reminder of, how amazing the hockey tailgates are. I haven't tailgated for a Devils game in New Jersey since I was a kid in, the maybe like 2004 or 5-ish, I guess, right before we left there. Maybe 6, somewhere in there. It's been nearly 20 years since I've tailgated for a Devils game. Actually, that's a lie. During a couple times, but it was more of a sneaky tailgate, not an elaborate tailgate. So the last time I had an elaborate tailgate was at the old arena in 05 or 06. But during the 2012 playoffs, several games I did like a sneaky low-key tailgate where I had a small grill and like hid it near my car and had a cooler and we were boozing. I was drinking Bud Ice and we were making hot dogs and shit. But it definitely wasn't the same as like the grand scale tailgate amongst the sea of Devils fans. This was more of like a degenerate, still fun tailgate, but yeah, I definitely did that with some of my friends during the 2012 playoff run and in the finals. But yeah, the elaborate tailgates are what it's at, or where it's at, and I really do miss it. And it was just a reminder of that in the old times. And it'll never be the same at Prudential for me. That's a big element of it, and it's just the whole feeling I have. If you grew up going to games at the old place and you went there, you know what I'm talking about. It just feels different being there. And yeah, I'll miss it forever, but that was absolutely amazing, and I'd love for the Devils to have another game at any stadium, but especially MetLife, because of the historic area with our history at the arena right across the way. But absolutely phenomenal. And for the younger fans, again, if you didn't experience this, you need to watch the Devils' first Stanley Cup tape entitled Heaven. It's the 1995 Stanley Cup champion Devils VHS tape, Heaven. People have put it online. I will put a link in the description for you to watch it. It is a 1,000% must watch if you're a Devils fan, even if you weren't born yet. Some of you probably weren't even born yet when the Devils won that, but that is a must watch. It's a really cool recap, kind of highlight documentary type thing about the 95 Devils team. And amongst all the cool clips you'll see in the video, there's tons of clips from all the parking lot tailgates during the Cup Finals, and you'll just get a little taste of what I'm talking about. But there's tons of great stuff in that tape, Heaven. It's a must-watch. Get your little education on about the 1995 New Jersey Devils, because it is a historic team that you should know about. Here we see the boys celebrating the big win on the ice at MetLife Stadium, waving and saluting the crowd. And Captain Nico dropping an F-bomb saying it was fucking amazing to an interviewer, and then it says, "Ooh, sorry." Absolutely legendary clip of Nico after the game. One of my favorite moments of the season. Nico's hilarious, and he felt really bad, I'm sure, after he said it. But what a captain, what a gamer he is. And you guys some of you might not realize what a special guy we have in Nicohischier. He's not always going to have the flashiest stats, but he's one of the best two-way players in the game. And he seems like a really nice dude. I've met him a bunch of times. He's great with fans. It seems like his teammates all love him. You can't ask for a better captain for this young group. And he's here for a while. And so we're in good hands with Captain Nico. But hopefully the rest of these guys can step up to his level. So let me know in the comments if you went to the game. Let me know your experience. Did you tailgate? Did you not? What did you think of the Jonas Brothers? Any and everything related to the Stadium Series, let me know in the comments. If you were watching at home, what did you think of the game? Was there anything you thought was peculiar? I'm curious, because I didn't rewatch the whole telecast yet, if they played that stupid Messier clip on TV or not. But yeah, that was total nonsense. But the Stadium Series, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Epic event. All my friends and family that went absolutely loved it. Everyone's still talking about it, buzzing about when there might be another one. And one of my friends was like, I think he said it was, other than, he said he actually put it at the number 2 game he's ever attended all time, only putting it behind Game 4 of the 1995 Stanley Cup Finals, where the Devils beat the Wings to win the franchise's first cup. And he's putting this at number 2 right behind that, which I think might be I don't know. I actually don't even remember now what games he's been to or not, but that's a pretty bold placement for the game. I think it was a very special game, and I have it very high on my list as well. But my personal rankings for something like that are always going to be more, heavy leaning on playoff implications, finals, and cup wins. So for me, I can't compare it to like big playoff games. That's just a different category to me, and something like this could never remotely touch a big playoff win, never mind a Stanley Cup Finals win. But in terms of regular season, let me take it back. I don't want to discredit the whole thing. In terms of atmosphere and the whole day experience with the tailgate, and you see all the fireworks and the whole experience, it is for a lot of people, they would probably put it over playoff games just because you're not getting all that wrapped up into the playoff game. But for me, as far as a regular season game goes, I have it pretty high up there. I can't put it, above like a Marty 552 or anything like that. For me, all the jersey retirement days are always very special, and those are kind of right in my importance. They're the list right below the big playoff wins and the cup wins. But for a regular season game, it's definitely very high on the list. But taking the whole thing into consideration, it has like a built-in cheat code because it has the tailgate element and the concert and all the stuff. So it's not a typical hockey game, but I could not recommend it more to anyone who, might be on the fence about one in the future. You should definitely go. But everyone, again, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the game. Did you go? Did you not go? Why didn't you go? If you did go, were you cold? Did you wear enough layers? Did you drink a lot of beers? Let me know it all in the comments. A phenomenal week of hockey. And tonight we blew it to the Capitals. But that's it, guys. That is it. I will be back soon with more videos, and like I said, I got some really cool stuff in the works, so stay tuned. We're not dead yet. We still got some games to play, 27 of them to be exact, and hopefully this team keeps it interesting for as long as possible and we squeak in those playoffs. Let me know what you guys still think about the trade front. Do you want to be buyers? You want to be sellers? All that stuff. Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.